Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. We play the hottest, most cutting-edge video games in November 1982. We were last checking out Pack Droids for the Coco, a very interesting new Pac-Man style game. Can you believe it? Let's see what our next game is. No way, a game for the Bally Astrocade. This is Pirate's Chase. I haven't seen this console for quite some time. The original console was the Bally Astrocade before it got picked up by another company. You can see here it says Astrocade, or it was Bally Arcade or Bally Videocade originally. So this is the later company trying to cash in on the same hardware from that system. This is the 32nd game we've seen for the Astrocade, Videocade, whatever you want to call the system, or whoever owns the system. But a very humble system, because the Atari right now has over 170 games that we've seen. And this is just the 32nd. As so far, the Astrocade, this newer branded system, we've seen the Coloring Book game, Galactic Invasion, Galaxian, The Incredible Wizard, and Artillery Duel and Cosmic Raiders. So this is the newest, Pirate's Chase. Front of the box has pirates. Great. Let's get in. Let's dive in and play a pirate game. I dig those. Besides the front of the box, we have the article that we just saw in Electronic Games Magazine, and there it is. Meet the game in the plain brown wrapper, Pirate Chase. Oh, wait, they call it Pirate Chase here? I wonder if that's a typo. Two-player contest that proves highly habit-performing to video gamers. And great artwork, that's why I wanted to include it there. Now, here's the Videocade, Astrocade, Bally Arcade, whatever you want to call it. This is the system that has the numpad on the system itself. The joysticks for these, because it's been so long, they're actually like hand controllers with a trigger, and the top nub is like an analog control. So a very unique control scheme for this system. There's the cartridge that we're going to pop into play, Pirate's Chase. Awesome. With an example of the screenshot, which can't make heads or tails of it. All right, what's the manual say? How do you play this game? This one is going to be a little interesting, new, yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. Race to scoop up as much gold doubloons as you can carry, but watch out. Pirates are on your trail. How much of the treasure can you collect before Long John Silver collects you? Long John Silver. That's a name we usually don't hear too much in video games. That's kind of cool. Score points for every doubloon and treasure chest you can. Steal from the pirate crew. A frantic pace game. And it is 1 and 2 players, and it's 2-player simultaneous. There is no guest tonight, so I will be attempting to do it by myself. But we'll just do a 1-player game. There's our loading instructions on the top. You're searching for treasure in the gold sands of Pirate Island. The beach is literally covered with gold doubloons, treasures cursed, guarded by a hideous skull and crossbones that follows you around and attempts to destroy you. Race to scoop up treasure and escape. Simple enough. At least it sounds pretty simple. You can select skill level and the number of turns. Every extra turn you complete, screen the balloons you're able to scoot up. So basically, the number of turns is how many screens you'll see, and all the screens are pretty much the same. It's just how many times do you want to continue to play the game is what they're asking when you start the game. The trigger has no function. The knob has no function. The only thing you have to do in this game is the joystick, which is that top, the top control. You can move in all 8 directions. When you enter the number of turns and everything else, it explains how to play and what we're supposed to be doing to make sure we can not get captured by Long John Silver, if we can get that far. So this breaks down the 5 different screens you'll see, or the different types of things you'll be able to see in each screen, and the number of points for each one, because you got to know the points here in November 1982. 2-player games is a different thing because you're playing at the same time. You and the second player are racing to pick up as much gold as possible, and you're doing like a score attack while also dodging Long John Silver or the Skull and Bones. And then if you want to play again, you hit the reset button. Yes. There you go. We got the gist of it. Let's pop in and play Pirate's Chase. This is by Astrocade at some time in November 1982. We don't know when they gave this to us, but we'll take it. So whenever you boot up this console, you select which game you want. It comes included with these 4 games. Calculator and scribbling really aren't a game, but you select the game you want. So we want Pirate's Chase, and I can do this all with the joystick. Number of players, we'll go with a 1-player game. The Bally Astrocade was one of the first consoles to have 4 slots for controllers. So awesome. We've had played games that are 4-player at the same time. All right, so here we go. Skill level. We'll go with skill level 1. And then number of turns, let's just go. It doesn't really matter. We're not going to play that much. Ooh, we get some music. First screen, number of points, and then the ring gives you an additional number of points. All right, so I'm in the top right of the screen. I look like a crosshair, actually. If the skull and bones touches you, you die, just like that. The whole point of the game is to move around, and I got freedom of control, which is kind of nice, to pick up as many of the black dots as possible, and of course pick up the ring to get extra bonus points. But you clear the screen whenever you pick up everything at once. Oh, you can keep picking up the ring? Okay, go for it. So the first thing I think of is, it's like we're playing Pac-Man or Rally X, but there's no maze. This is just a bunch of dots all over the screen. So part of me says it's another one of those top-down maze games that we've seen that are, you know, copying Pac-Man and things like that. But this really isn't a true maze. But there's no other way I can really describe what I'm doing. I'm collecting as many dots as I can, and then when you do, we get a ditty and then we move on to the next round. The extra bonus point is 200 points, and every time we go from screen to screen, the enemy chasing us gets more and more dangerous. But it's essentially, it feels like I'm just moving around freely. It's almost like we're playing a game of tag or chase, where I'm having to run away from another computer-controlled opponent, which in a way, this is one of the first times we've seen a video game that's a pure game of tag, but it's computer controlled, because most of the time when we played games that were pure tag chase games, it was you had to have another player to play against you. But this one, the computer is actually running after us. And it does feel like there's a Geiger counter in the background with all the beeps and bloops that are playing. Let's see if we can get all of it there. There it is. And finish it up. Nice. There we go. And mainly, yeah, it does feel like almost a lawn mowing simulator. If it was grass. All right, next round, next screen. We got diamonds to pick up. Just avoid the skull and crossbones. If we do make it to screen 5, then you will supposed to see Long John Silver running after us. But yes, it is. It almost feels like it's going to break my speaker. Can everyone hear the very high-pitched beeping? It's like this tinging noise every time I pick up a gold doubloon. Oh, I died again. I think we should have a few lives, though. When you do play this as a two-player simultaneous experience, it is totally different. And I'm sure it's a lot more fun because you and your friend, if you want to call him that, are racing to get as many points as possible by clicking or picking up as many gold doubloons and also the extra bonus points, while also you're both avoiding the skull and crossbones at the same time. Nice. So yeah, I'll call this an arcade maze game still. It's barely a maze, but this is the 311th top-down arcade maze game we've played, made famous by Rally X and Pac-Man and games like that, and all the variants of games that are close to that. I'll say this is an arcade maze game because we had another game on MS-DOS called Gobbleman, one of the worst Pac-Man games ever. I called that a maze game because it was meant to rip on Pac-Man, but it's the same idea as this. Gobbleman was just a screen of dots, and I'm talking a ton of ASCII dots, and so we'll call this still an arcade maze game too. Still doing pretty good. Somebody called this the best game on the Astrocade. No, the best game on the Astrocade is still, we have Artillery Duel, which is very, very good game of artillery, and then the Incredible Wizard, which is another really good game of the Wizard of War, one of the best you could play right now. This one is, I would say it's more fun, obviously, if you're going to play with two people, because it just feels like I'm doing a mundane task of collecting and picking everything up. This is the 10th game that we've seen that is just pure tag, playing tag or chase. If you don't, and we're not counting all the games like Pac-Man, because that's obviously ghosts are playing tag with you too, if you want to think of it like that. But this one is just pure. It's playing tag or chase. And we played games that are like this, but the other player would be controlled by a human rather than a computer. So having this freaky-looking ghost skull and crossbones just meander around the screen after us. Look, it's like it's floating after us like a spaceship. What a bizarre idea. But yeah, the concept is so simple. I mean, let's go around and pick everything up, call them gold doubloons, get a bonus thing in the middle, kind of like the fruit in Pac-Man. Works all right. But I mean, look, I'm having to go around to get every part. Leave nothing unturned. It's one of the very first collectathon games. Come on. There it is. We played games that were tag and chase, like one of the first ones was Cat and Mouse on the Magnavox Odyssey, the first Magnavox Odyssey, and then another game of tag on the Fairchild Channel F. Gotcha in the arcade was another kind of game of tag, and then there was tag on the RCA Studio 2, so it's a very old concept. Another one was the amazing game on the Texas Instruments home computer. That was just tag. And then another game we played called Bleep, which was from C-Load magazine. It's just being chased by someone else, not to be caught by him. But this one, actually, you're picking stuff up, so it's not straight to tag. I like the Sea Pirate theme, even though we're not really seeing too much Sea Pirate theme. This is the 15th game we've played that is themed after Sea Pirates. Not really seeing too much here, but the game has the idea, and we have the song playing in the background of Blow the Man Down. Pirate Adventure is a big Pirates-themed game right now. Fantasy that we played in the arcade is another pirate-themed game. Swashbuckler on the Apple II is awesome for a pirate-themed game. Go pick them up. Quick. Get them all. And we just saw Pirate Pete in the arcades for all the games that you could see up to this point. And I think we have seen Long John Silver. Did everyone catch Long John Silver? But it just continues like this. 2-player is the way to go. Simultaneous. That's what you want to play when you play this one. So for all the games you could play on all consoles, up to this point, Pirates Chase is okay. It's not a bad game. It's a very simplistic idea or an outdated idea, but it's executed well, and 2 players would be the way to go. I wouldn't say, look in the chat for the 2.5 star. Yeah, average is what I would say as well. I couldn't go as high as 3.5, but I'm thinking somewhere around the average range for everything up to this point. Yeah, mostly 3 stars I'm seeing over in the chat right now. Yeah, we need more pirate-themed things in the game besides that. And if you have the 2 players, that's where I could say maybe 3.5 stars, but I'll still say 3 stars. 3 average for everything on home consoles right now. Play in the Atari, that's for sure. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is. We're back on the TRS-80 color computer. This is Planet Invasion. Another one we don't have a lot of information for. I have an ad that has pictures that might be the front of the box, maybe. So there's Planet Invasion right in the middle, along with some other things by Spectral Associates. And then another one we have with a few games that we've already seen too, like Space Trader, Venturer. Wow, Venturer is really cool. And then Golf, which was one of the first times we played golf on any home computer, right there, with an example of the screenshot, which may have given it away. Let's slide in Planet Invasion and play. Spectral Associates and Steve Geiseking at some time in November 1982. Was it released in the beginning of November? At the end of November? We really don't know. All right, machine language, load her up. I'm ready to go. This one is our 171st game we've played on the TRS-80 Coco thus far. And Microdeal did this one later in the United Kingdom, and also for the Dragon 32 that we'll see at some point. We won't see the United Kingdom version of this. This is what we got. Way to go, Steve. This is the first game we've ever seen Steve Geiseking do, if that's how you pronounce your name. Spectral Associates, though, this isn't the first time that we've seen them publish something. This is the 28th Spectral Associates game we've seen. They've done games like Keys of the Wizard, Le Mans, Android Attack, Galax Attack, and Space War. All right, I'm excited. Let's go. Oh, it just goes right to it. Joystick control. Oh, the analog joystick feels so good. I am playing Defender, and wow, it looks really good for the Coco. We have transparent mountains, which look how tiny the humans are. Gosh, you can barely make them out. The aliens, I can completely see them, but what is the standout for this is the control. This is really nice. It's even incorporating a little bit of inertia like the arcade version of Defender, but it's so smooth. I actually feel like I have good control over the ship. Oh, we got another enemy type already. Nice. Coming after us. I don't know what that is. Is that an enemy? Oh, it's dropping mines? Can we destroy the humans? I don't think we can. Look, the humans are so small that the lowest I can go, the shot goes above them. So you can't just destroy all the humans in the game like you could in the arcade. Uh-oh, we got mutoids already starting to show up, which I don't think they're mutoids. We don't have the paperwork of the lore or story of of this game, Planet Invasion, what is the... I'm just going to call them the same enemy types that we saw in Defender. But, oh yeah, this is a winner. The radar works really well, too. At the top of the screen, it is bigger, I believe, than we saw a Fender on the TRS-80 color computer. Yeah, look at all this we have on the screen. So many mutoids coming at us. The control's so good. It feels refined, like I'm actually in some of the best control for a shooter up to this point, or at least a defender on the TRS-80 color computer. It just feels really, really good to fly and shoot and move around. This feels so good as a control. It makes me take back what I said when I said like maybe the emulation. Oh, wow, that came in fast. For some of the games we played on the Coco, I was like, oh, maybe the emulation's messed up or something's wrong with the way that it was for us to play. But no, this game proves no, it's just fine. You just have to be well enough to program for it. Sweet, and it keeps the high score at the top of the screen. Oh, I love it. Where's the smart bomb? Oh, it's spacebar. Thanks, Marshall. Let's blow him. Nice. You can see at the top left, it's keeping track of the smart bombs. Let's see. Can we protect? We can pick up the humans. Look, they're so tiny. How many pixels? Is that 2 pixels? Look at this. Watch. Look how tiny the human being is. Okay, that time he dropped safely to the ground. I didn't need to pick him up. And it goes through level by level. Wow, yeah. Very, very impressive. Planet Invasion is a surprise. This is surprisingly good. Is it going to die? Oh, it does die. You got to capture, you got to pick it up before the humans reach the ground or they're going to die. So they're obviously copying Defender. So when we play Defender style games, I always look at how different is it? Or I should say, how close is it to the arcade? And then if it's really close to the arcade, then I start to think of, what are they adding that's new or different? This one, it really not adding too much that's new. It's more of just how well it plays for a Defender-style game. This one is a shoot-'em-up, a scrolling shoot-'em-up. This is the 159th scrolling shoot-'em-up that we played, whether it's horizontal or vertical. If it's a shoot-'em-up, this is the 159th one. On home computers, this is the 96th shoot-'em-up that we played thus far, and the 7th shoot-'em-up that we played for the TRS-80 color computer. So we're going to compare this to all the other games that are available for the Coco. Man, I love the way this feels. It's so good. This has the mini-map. This has the radar, the joystick control, excellent arcade-style action for any home computer. This is the 39th Defender clone that we played on the show, and that's on all computers, all systems, all ports. 39 Defender-like games. 4 of them have been in the arcades. On the consoles, there's been 6 games that have been cloning Defender, and on home computers, this is the 29th Defender clone, and the 5th for the Coco. The Coco already has 5 Defender-style games that are out there. And I thought Offender wasn't going to be beaten. Offender is still very, very good for a Defender-style game. I'd say pretty average would be Protectors for the Coco, and then Avenger getting in the not-so-good range, and then Starfire, I'd say still pretty average for all the games that you could play on all home computers. I would give this the slight nod and say, yeah, this one's a step above Offender when you want to look at all the games you could play on all home computers. Oh, that's a smart idea. Very nice for the programming for it. That's what makes it so smooth. So there's our last life. I always forget the smart bomb because it's the space bar. There's not a way to finagle it with the joystick. But you got the keyboard right in front of you, so you should be all right. All right, there you go. Planet Invasion, that's a surprise. The controls is really what takes it over the top. I'll still say of all the games you could play on all home computers, it doesn't rival some of the best Defender-style games that you could play on all the other home computers. And that would be around the 4-star range, because there's some really, really good Defender games. I'd say for all the games you could play up to this point, it's still above average for everything up to this point. I'd still give this one a slight nod above Offender. So looking over the chat, I see a lot of people giving above average ratings, so even some 4s. Marshall throwing out a 4-star, Brian a 4-star, and Barclay a 4-star. So I wouldn't say as high as 4. When you've seen everything we've seen on all other home computers, I wouldn't go that high, but still above average for sure. Planet Invasion is a really good time. Yeah. Oh, nice, Curtis. Thanks. Oh, really? All of them? So this one, yeah, this is the 5th one. So I guess we're on track if Rainbow Magazine and Chronologically Gaming are on the same page. All right, after that game, let's see what our next one is. It's time to go to Japan and play on the Fujitsu FM7. This is Wakusai Konyaku. If that doesn't sound familiar, it's Planet Miners. This one, I don't even have the box for this version of the game on the Fujitsu FM7. We originally saw this game, Planet Miners, in 1980 for the Apple II, the Commodore PET, and the TRS-80. And this screenshot from the Fujitsu FM7 looks kind of like the TRS-80 version. In 1981, we saw the port of this for the Atari home computer. This is the very last port of Planet Miners. And this is like part of the game loading, I believe, because here's the title screen. Yeah, there it is. Expansion into the solar system. In the year 2050, Earth's resources are running out. 4 players compete to find mineral deposits on other planets. Who will overcome the obstacles and get the rights to the mineral deposits? That's the idea of the game. We've seen this one before. Sadly, it's another game that is this version not dumped that we can actually play. So I'll have to give this one a not rating or a 0 rating for all the games we've seen up to this point. But pretty sure it would play like the other versions we saw on other home computers. But that's it. No other Planet Miner ports, so we won't be seeing this one again. But while we're in Japan, let's see what's on the TV. It's Pac-Man introducing Galaxian and... Whoa! Rally X. Too cool. Thanks, Pac-Man. So that is not the game that we're seeing. I just want to check out the commercial because it's pretty epic when Pac-Man is introducing some other games by Namco. This is Power Pack for the Sword M5. What in the world's a Power Pack? Well, it's another renamed game that Namco brought to this home computer. This is Super Pac-Man that we've already seen in the arcades in August 1982. And they're bringing it home for the very first time as Power Pack. Kind of like what they did with Galax on the Sword M5, which was the first time we ever saw Galaga at home on anything. And this is the very first time you could play Super Pac-Man at home. I mean, at the front of the box, it's obviously Super Pac-Man. But they called it Power Pack, and I still don't know why. Like, why they renamed it to Galax, because it was done by Namco, or at least if they didn't do it in-house, they outsourced it to someone else. Yes. So this is the 4th game we've seen on the Sword M5 home computer. All the games we've seen so far on this computer have been by Namco up to this point. This is the 33rd game that we've seen so far by Namco on all systems, everywhere, all over the place. In the arcade, Namco's brought us games like Galaxian, King and Balloon, Pac-Man, Rally X, Galaga, Bosconian, Pole Position, and of course, Super Pac-Man. This computer does take cartridges, and there's the cartridge we're going to pop in to play Power Pack with an example of the screenshot, and it looks pretty good. Let's pop in and play some Power Pack by Namco at some time in November 1982. Namco also brought a few games on the Commodore VIC-20, Pac-Man and Jelly Monsters, and Rally X and Radar Rat Race. On the Atari 2600, Pac-Man is available there from Namco. Not necessarily by them, but licensed by them. On the Atari home computer, we got Galaxian and Pac-Man. And then on the Atari 5200, there's Galaxian and Pac-Man. So there's already Namco at home in a little few things here and there, but majority of it has been in the arcades. All right, so like we've seen on the Sword M5, you can do 1-player, you can do 2-player, but you're not going to play at the same time. It's like going in the arcade. Let's push the 1 key and play some Power Pack. Nice. They give us some music. Oh, listen to that. It sounds so good. It's got the gates. This even looks really close to the arcade. Check out the layout and design. Oh, we got the blow-up Pac-Man 2. Destroy the gates. You don't even need the keys. And if you follow the right pattern, look at this. I'm doing what is it like a tried and true pattern to pick it all up, and it's working. Wow. This is refreshingly good. For all the clones we played, this is awesome. To be playing a game that's by Pac-Man, it feels so much better than the other Pac-Man games. Oh yeah, I like how much this is responding. I'm getting that OP feeling that I got whenever I played this in the arcades the first time. The music and sound effects are spot on too. They even have the little they have that slot machine also in the middle of the screen. Oh, I forgot that one pellet down the bottom left. This is so nice. Oh, wait a second. It's almost like Galax. Where is the bonus stage? What am I missing? The bonus? I haven't memorized the arcade version, but I feel like we are missing we are missing something. Yeah, there's usually some reprieve in the middle of it, but I'm not seeing it. Uh-oh, gotta open the gates. Let me through! I'm not Super Pac-Man anymore. Alright, let's go back to Super Pac-Man. Go, go, go. Oh, man, that feels so good. Yeah. I'm still not seeing the bonus stage. I wonder if they left it out like they did with the challenge stage of Galaga. Quickly, yep, Super Pac-Man. As the stages go on, you get less time to be Super Pac-Man. Oh, yeah. Get the patterns down. Oh, it still feels really good. Awesome. So here you go, the 312th arcade maze game that we played so far on Chronologically Gaming on all systems. On home computers, this is the 175th arcade maze game that we've seen thus far on all home computers. Oh gosh. Yep, turn the tables. Let's see if we can open a few doors here. As levels progress, yeah, it's getting faster. Look how fast everything is. Yikes. Let's open up this one. Use the roulette in the center. Looking good. Uh-oh, not good. Oh, wow. Yeah. Way to go. Let's open up this one. Get that. Unlock that. And look at that. Clear the board. It's amazing when you go from all of the rip-offs and clones of arcade maze games or Pac-Man games, and then you play an official one like this, how smooth this is. This feels so good to play that I really want to do like a back-to-back with playing this. Oh, they got me. Playing this and playing the arcade, because it feels like the maze is identical to what they had in the arcade. Brought here by Namco for a home computer for the first time. So nice. And is controlled with, they call it a hand controller for this computer. So you're essentially using a disc to move around, which may not be your cup of tea for control-wise, but it still is joystick controlled. It's made to be, you put in the cartridge, you turn the computer on, and then you play the game, which is really nice. Oh yeah, over in the chat, Curtis has already thrown out 4, maybe a 4.5. That's pretty generous. Now, when we saw this in the arcades, I wasn't as impressed because we'd already seen so much Pac-Man and games like Pac-Man that it wasn't as impressive as a game in the arcades. I said this was 3.5 stars for all the games you could play for, oh, it got me before I got the power pellet. Up to that point. So for this one, this is really, really good for a home computer game, but it is still Pac-Man. So you have to think of all the clones and copies of Pac-Man we've seen thus far. Uh-oh, this isn't good. I did a bad pattern, and I don't think I'm going to be able to break open quickly. We got it. Oh, no, we got to get to the bottom. Yes, go Super Pac-Man. It worked. I don't know how I did that. Oh, it's because we started at the beginning, and they're giving us much longer time to be Super Pac-Man. Wow, yeah. It is missing the bonus stages that they had in the arcade, so I can feel the difference, kind of like we did when we played Galax. I'd say if they included that, then it would be a 4.5 star or one of the best games you could play on all home computers. But yeah, this is performing and playing so good, like you're playing in the arcades. It's awesome. Well done. Sound effects are there too. Oh, down to the bottom, quick, bottom left. So nice. So right now, official Pac-Man, or the series of Pac-Man, is kind of split between games that Namco did and games that Bally Midway did. It's a little dicey if you're familiar with the history, but we first saw Pac-Man obviously in the arcades, and then we saw Pac-Man as handhelds for Tomy and for Coleco. And then Pac-Man, of course, was on the Atari 2600 after that. Then Pac-Man for the Atari home computer. After that, we saw Pac-Man on the Atari 5200. And for the Bally side of it, they released Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man Plus and Baby Pac-Man. And then Super Pac-Man came out by Namco. So it was like a split between what Bally Midway has done and what Namco has done. So for official games you can see thus far, this is very, very good. Whether you are into Pac-Man or not, if you had this on a home computer, you would be very, very excited and you would have a blast with this. Oh man, that's so fun. I already got the game over. So looking over the chat, we got lots of high ratings. In fact, lots of 4.5-star ratings. I'm not as big of a fan of Super Pac-Man. I understand that what Namco did and what Bally Midway did, it's kind of unfair because whenever Super Pac-Man comes out, you're like, okay, well, we've already seen all these other clones, and Pac-Man's been saturated, and we've already seen games that have gone way beyond what Pac-Man could do with other games on home computers. So I don't know if I want to say it's one of the best games you could play on any home computer and say 4.5 star, because there's a lot out there that you could be playing. Power Pack, though, is very well done. You got to admit that they put a lot into this, and it plays very, very well. So I would definitely say this is an excellent game. 4 stars at least, but I'm seeing lots of 4.5s too. 4 easily from most people. Yeah, right? And I really would love to know the history behind why they changed the name to bring it home. Is there some licensing agreement? They couldn't call the game Galaga, and they couldn't call this one Super Pac-Man like they did in the arcades. So I don't know. But of all the games you could play on all home computers, this one is excellent. So I don't want to say 4.5 because we've seen other Pac-Man games and variants of Pac-Man top-down maze games that are doing something even more than this. So I'm going to go with 4. It's excellent. It's a very, very good game. But right now, I wouldn't call this one of the best games you could play on all home computers right now. Oh yeah, if you could drop quarters, definitely. Well done. Because it was brought to us by Namco. I love it. All right, now it's time for us to put our video game playing on pause. So many video games to check out, so many video games to see. I really appreciate everyone that came for the live show. You've made it to the very end of the whole episode, the whole video. Your chats that you put in obviously are getting posted to these videos as we move on. So as the audience, you really have brought a great flavor to the show, and I'm so glad that you were able to be here for the live show. And of course, if you didn't make the live show, leave a comment down below and we'll respond then. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, we are scrambling for more games with a surprise new computer from Australia. We also have a Sea War on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, and Scott Adams is bringing the count to the Atari home computer. Will our spooky good time mean the end of Dracula? Tune in to find out. That's it for today, and like I always say, looks like it's time to move to Japan. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.